Hi, I just wanted to come on and do a quick little video, and I just wanted to share my story, share my testimony. It has been a year in 2020, and so I've learned a lot, I've grown a lot, and as you all know, I had a situation where I went to jail. And I just want to share with you guys what happened and how it all worked out for, the good, how God was there throughout the whole process. And we're so quick to say, oh, God is here, He's with me. But I really want to go into detail about the things that took place. So I want to, first of all, start by saying, I knew that, this was an issue. It was an investigation. It was not a surprise to me, nor my family. So in 2019, in the summer, I got a notification, a mail that I was being investigated for food stamp fraud. And I immediately called my attorney and got him to kind of, stay on top of it. Well, in 2019 summertime, I was pregnant and my caseworker was pregnant as well. And so we met up, the caseworker, my attorney, and myself. I did not speak to the caseworker at all. My attorney would not allow my caseworker to ask me any questions. He answered everything as he should have. And so basically we went in thinking, trying to see, okay, what can we pay to just, move it all away? And she straight up said, no, it don't work like that. This is an investigation and we're going on. So my attorney said, okay. So just say, for instance, what is the most, that you are reporting that, or that you're finding that is basically stolen from the government? And she said, I don't know. So basically, I'm not trying to help you. We're not going to smooth this over. We are going to, go forth with this. So, a whole December, we didn't went by, kind of like just forgot about it, not really forgot about it, but we went on and just went on about our lives because we had heard nothing. My caseworker said, well, I'll be going on maternity leave. And it wasn't, I take that back. It wasn't my caseworker. It was the fraud investigator that was pregnant. The fraud investigator, she was pregnant. She went on maternity leave. And so December rolls around. I had Crown. And let me just say this, to know that God will cover me and give me an investigator that was pregnant and do at the same time as I was due, it just really lets me know that, he had me covered, basically, because he wasn't going to let anything happen to me while I was pregnant with Crown. He wasn't going to stress me out with that, because literally I kind of forgot about it. So January rolls around, January 2020, and it was January 24th. My attorney had been calling me, or had his secretary call me all that week and saying, can you meet? Well, I was so busy doing this, that, and the other. So I finally did meet on January 24th. And I walked in and he's like, sit down. And once I sat down, he was like, well, we knew that we had to cross this bridge. And I'm like, well, what bridge? Because I'm thinking that we got it taken care of, because I got a great attorney. So he says, you have a warrant out for your arrest. And so immediately I started crying right there. And I looked at him and I said, why did you not tell me this before? Like, I'm driving, I'm out. Like, why did you not tell me this? What can we do to make the warrant disappear? And he was like, wait a minute, you know, I just gotta show you this. He put the papers down and he said, this is the amount. And it's $12,000. It was a felony, and it was 2 different charges for the same thing. And so he said they have the right to give you 10 years. So I broke down even more and started crying. Like an uncontrollable cry. Like I could not even, he had to call Frank in while I was sitting there and actually tell him, you know, what was going on. So I looked at him and I said, I need you to treat me as if I'm your daughter. I need you to treat me like this is your daughter in this situation. And so for the most part, he did what he could do. So right then he started to call the DAs, and he called, I won't call out any names because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but he called a few people to, you know, see how I could get some help. And he said, well, what we can do is, you know, today, tomorrow, I know the judge that's sitting there. You don't have a bail right now. You don't have a bond right now. So with you not having a bond, so he looked at me and he said, you don't have a bond right now. But what we need to do is go ahead and turn yourself in, and I can get you a bond. I'm pretty sure of that. And then after that, you can pay $1,000 a month, you know, to pay it off. But you're going to have to go ahead and turn yourself in. And I said, no, absolutely not. You know, then I started crying even harder because absolutely not. Like, I'm not turning myself. I'm not going, like, what can you do? I'm so used to everything just being moved out of the way. And that's, you know, all of us, we have these connections, and I'm just like, no, not me. I'm not going to jail. You gonna do something about it. I'm hiring you. You gonna do something about it. So I just looked at him and I said, would you send your daughter to jail? Would you tell her to turn herself in? And he's just, you know, I could tell that his heart just, you know, sunk in his chest, and he was like, well, just hold up. Let me just see what I can do. I need you to stay still. Don't move. Don't make a lot of noise right now. Let me, you know, work on this. So I did. I sat still because I was in disbelief. I couldn't even believe, you know, that I got a warrant out for my arrest. So after that, he, you know, worked on some things. I know that he called some people. So I ended up getting an email from his assistant, and the email basically said it was from one of the judges. He has no right to recall a warrant that is out. She's gonna have to turn herself in. That's from the judge. And so at that point, I literally wanted to kill myself. I was in, I wanted to kill myself. I tried to kill myself because I could not allow, in my head, I'm thinking, I can't, my girls at the studio, they can't, like, I just can't even face them after this. I just can't. So I called a friend that I knew. And I know that he's connected to that judge. And I said, hey, I need your help. So he sent me a message and said, listen, whatever happens is going to be all right. Basically knowing that it ain't no way around this. So after that, you know, I called my friend and I said, listen, I'm about to, you know, just go ahead and take my life because I cannot go to jail. And so she was like, no, you're not going to do that. You know, she's talking me through it. You know, no, you cannot. And so boom, Frank walks in the house. So now I'm acting like everything is normal. And so I show him the email that the judge sent over. And, you know, he basically just hugged me. And as I cried and said, listen, it's going to be all right. He said to me, God is trying to show you something. God wants you to know that basically your pride is a problem. You have an image problem. You want people to see you always in the good light and the always doing right, always winning. You have an image problem, and God wants to break that. And so I just rolled my eyes at Frank like, that ain't what I want to hear right now. And so he said, you've got to learn that those people that you trying to impress, they gonna be all right. They gonna live. They ain't living no better than you. They're doing the same stuff, if not worse. They are going to be all right. So that sat with me. So we worked out a deal. The attorney, the DA, was allowing me to basically make the full payment of what was owed, and I not see jail. The news don't know. Nobody knows what's going on. So boom. I wake up on February 18th. I'm going to literally getting ready to walk out the door. I'm getting dressed, all of that, getting ready to go and pay the full amount. Well, Cold runs to my bathroom because, you know, it's not just me that I have to get dressed. I have to get Cold dressed. I had to get Crown dressed. So after getting them dressed, getting myself ready, Cold runs to the back and said, Mama, somebody at the door. So I go to the door and I see 2 police officers. And my heart is like racing. So I open the door and I drop to my knees. And I cried. And he said, one of the officers said, Miss Gooden, I need to talk to you. I said, I already know. Just give me a minute. And they were so nice. They gave me a minute as I sat there and I cried. I got up off the floor and I sat in the living room chair because I still could not gather myself. And as I'm crying, they're just looking around, you know, they're not saying anything. They're just looking around. And Cold comes over, you know, and tries to talk to them. So I said, I'm about to go and pay this. If you could just let me go and pay this. He said, one of the officers said, no. I'm sorry, once we get the paperwork, you know, we just gotta go, you know. I said, okay. Well, let me finish getting dressed. He said, okay, we can wait 30 minutes. I need somebody to come and get your kids. I said, okay, let me call my husband. So he said, if you're going in your room, I have to go in your room too. I said, okay, come on. So both of the officers came in my bedroom and I called my attorney. And I said, hey, the police officers are here and they're about to take me. My attorney said, what? Very surprised, like, no, this was not supposed to happen. I said, I was about to go pay, but, you know, this happened instead. And so he said, what? You know, so the police officers then knew that I wasn't talking to my husband about my kids. So he says, ma'am, get off the phone. and call whoever it is to pick your kids up, because if not, they're going to go to child welfare or something like that. So I said, okay, I gotta go. So I called my husband and I said, he didn't answer. So I kept calling him. He was at work, of course. So he finally picked up, and I said, Frank, the police are here. I need you to get here right now. And so he said, okay, and he came very, very fast. So I went, while we were waiting, Code was talking to the police officers. I was finishing getting together. So I came out in a shirt, and the police officer said, oh, no, don't wear that. You're going to be cold. So I said, okay. He said, go ahead and take your jewelry off. Go ahead and take, don't wear a jacket that zips up. If you have a sweater, put that on because it's really cold in there. And I said, okay. So, I came down and I said, how about this? And he said, yeah, that's perfect. So I went ahead and took my nose ring out, took all my jewelry off, and put on some comfortable jeans and some boots. And so by that time, Frank had made it. And so Frank said, he looked at me and he said, be strong, and I didn't drop a tear in front of him. So I went on out, and the police officer said, he said, close the door so that the baby won't see. So closed the door to my bedroom, and we went outside. When we went outside, he said, hey, we're going to make this, as clean as possible. We're not even going to put handcuffs on you. Just, you can keep your phone until you get there. When we get there, we're going to take your phone. I said, okay, So I made my little phone calls in the car or whatever. And matter of fact, before I even left out the house, I gave Frank all of, what I needed him to have to take care of the situation. And so, in the car, I made phone calls about my children, making sure I didn't know how long I was going to be. So I called someone about my kids, and I called my mom. And so I also called my cousin about the studio, let her know class will run as normal. We are not, taking off today. We will go to class today. So, after making those calls, I was kind of, I felt at peace with the situation. So, I get off the phone, and the police officer said, you okay back there? And I said, yeah, I'm fine. I said, but can you drive slower? Don't be in such a hurry. And he said, no, we need to get you on down there so you can go ahead, get your bun, and get on out. And the quicker we get you booked in, the quicker you get out. You don't want to take all day. And he said, plus, we got to go get somebody for murder. I said, and you came to get me for some food stamps first? And you have somebody waiting to be picked up for a murder? He said, your file was on top. And see, that bothered me because I knew I didn't have a file in the DA's office because of, So anyway, I said, okay, well, whatever. So we get out the car. He said, they get me out I wasn't even in a police car. I was in a truck, unmarked truck. So got out the truck, and he said, okay, I got to go ahead and put these handcuffs on you because that's what we have to do. I said, okay, fine. So he put the handcuffs on me, and he took my phone and brought me on the inside. And so when he brought me on the inside, that's when it got real. So I hear all of these inmates that are in there, and they're like screaming, like they're on drugs or something. Like, I don't know. Like, it was just, and so I immediately, like, I'm going in there, like, starts crying. So they were like, no, you're going to be fine. Trust me, you're going to be fine. So he sat there, he set me in a chair, and he had to, do all of my paperwork. basically saying what happened and why they picked me up and all of that. So while he was sitting there, he says, how long have you been in business? Okay, I don't want to talk about dance in here. So I said, you know me? And he said, well, we researched you before we came to get you. We had to see if you were dangerous or if you would run. We had to see what kind of person you were. So we did our research on you. And, I started telling him about the studio. And he said, well, I can tell that you are a good person. Things happen. And so they were really, really nice. He said, I have this toy badge. I'm going to put it in your bag with your cell phone. Would you please give this to your son? And I said, yes, I will. I'll give it to him. So I walked out of there and had to stand at it's a little desk. I don't know. I'm just going to assume that no one knows what it's like to be an OCC. So had to sit at the desk or whatever or stand at the desk, and the lady's getting all my information. And she said, now at this point, I'm crying because, as I'm giving her the information, and she passed me a hard brown paper towel, and she passed it to me, and I'm, wiping because I can't look crazy on this picture. So I gotta keep it together because I'm still thinking about my image. Okay. So that still I'm still worried about what people gonna say. So she gives me the brown paper towel and I'm wiping my eyes or whatever. And so as I'm wiping my eyes, she said, is this your first time here? And I says, yes. And I pray it's my last time here. So as I'm saying that, a lady walks by, which I've been knowing so long, that she said, Kentrell, which is my middle name. And no one calls me that unless you've been knowing me for a long time. So I looked and I said, I just bust out crying because, she's got to see me, in here. And she said, what happened? And I just couldn't even speak, and so she went around and looked at, everything. And the guy that was in the back, he said, don't I know you? And okay, so now this is getting really, out of hand because, it's really embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. Yes, you know me, but I don't want to talk about how you know me. So anyway, the lady that asked me if I was okay, she came out, and it's time to do my booking or fingerprints on, whatever they do in the bag. So getting my fingerprints done, and now I'm really boo-hooing because these fingerprints, they're gonna be here forever. They're gonna be this is not going away. So this is the main part of the main reason why I wanted this kind of just swept under the rug, because this is something that's never going to go away. So I do my fingerprints, and this lady that knew me, and then the lady that was taking my information just started speaking into me hey, don't cry. They gave me so much, just really pouring into me, telling me what God wanted me to hear at that moment. And so it took a good 45 minutes to an hour before they even decided to set me in a cell. But before they set me in there, I could hear the people yelling out, hey, as soon as that picture goes up, take it down, isolate her, put her by herself. It was just so much. In that moment, I knew that, okay, God is here. So I said, hey, do you know I called my god sister's name, and I said, do you know her? Say, yeah, I know her. I said, is she here right now? And they said, yeah, let me call her over. So she came over, and so then again, here I am saying, God put all the right people in place. So, which lets me know that maybe if I had gone another day, maybe if I had gotten picked up, maybe if I would have turned myself in any day before, those people wouldn't have been in place. But those people were placed there for me. And they made sure that I was okay. So after they went ahead and put me in a cell, isolating me, I was able to make phone calls letting my husband know that, hey, I'm in here, I'm done booking. Call my attorney, let him know that they're basically waiting on him to do what he got to do. So I was in the cell, and I'm just looking around like, if I've always said, God, I trust you, God, I trust you. But if I've never meant it before now, I have no choice but to mean it, right? Like, I was literally in a situation where you have no choice but to trust me. You have absolutely no choice but to trust me right now, because I'm the only one that can make something shake right now. So anyway, after about, 30 minutes, it seemed like it was about 3 days, but it was about 30, 45 minutes that I was in there. And I was called out when my attorney arrived, and they wanted to know, hey, run this story by me. Tell me what happened, because this is, rare that somebody will come to your house and pick you up. And so, I let them know everything that I just told y'all. This is what happened. This is what they said. And, so they were like, okay, we're going to look into that. So we went on. It was time for me to go. And I probably, before y'all even found out, I was probably already at home. So when I made it home, when I got out, the lady, we had to go to another desk, and they give you your court date and everything. And he looked at it and said, you don't have a court date. Then again, nothing but God, because the original plan was for me the original advice was for me to go ahead, turn myself in, and then I just pay restitution. And every month I'll have a bill. I walked out of there with no bill. I walked out of there with no court date. I walked out of there with nothing. Okay. I did have, some procedures that I had to follow for within, a certain time period. And I did that. And so we all good now. But I walked out of there with basically, not what I should have had. And so I'm grateful for that. But I went home, and I wasn't going to cut my phone on, but I went here and cut my phone on. And I see on Facebook, I get screenshots of all of the stuff being said on Facebook. And I am so exhausted from crying that, I'm just like, I'm going to take a shower, I'm going to go to sleep or whatever. But I'm okay. So I did all of that, week went by, and it comes up again. I thought, I know that Thursday is paper day for some media outlets. Thursday is paper day. So I already knew that my good friends at the Free Press ain't about to, nah. And if you do, I told them, I said, if you put me in that paper, you better make sure I'm front page, because, if you gonna put me in there, don't slide it in there, put me front page. But, I knew they wasn't gonna do that. Shout out to Keita and Robert and their dad, Roosevelt. But Keita basically told me, look, that was your first one. You do something else, I'm putting you in there. But anyway, they're like my brothers. So, the information came out in Ouachita Citizen. And so I woke up to a notification that it was there. And so that was a week later. And boom, here it goes. And so now it's going crazy all over social media. So now, okay, well, I'm not just gonna sit back and not say nothing. I'm going to sit back and let y'all know that let me tell you, yeah, this happened, but let me tell you how and what God did for me. And it's because I'm his child, and the whole time he protected me, and the whole time he was there. He never left me, and he's able to just do things without sweeping them under the rug. He's able to do more than just that. Even if it seems so bad, he's there. He was there the whole time. And this is nothing that I've had to or tried to convince myself of. This is what I felt. This is what I know. And I know that everything and how it lined up was for his glory. And so I know y'all are thinking like, but you went to jail still. Or, but these people were still like, it doesn't even matter, because the Lord wanted, I'm sitting here praying to go to, the next dimension. And I'm praying to go to just higher. And how can you go higher if you can't even take what the people in Monroe is saying about you? You worried about your image in Monroe. You can't even go further than Monroe, because that's what you're worried about. And so it was an eye-opener, and that's why I made the post that I made, because it hurt. Yes, and it hurt to see just the people that I would never thought that would, share or comment or, any of that, that hurt. And so it was an eye-opener, but guess what? I still I go out of my way to speak to these people when I know I saw it. I'm not mad at you, because one thing what we like to do, we like to be the first people to run with the news. We want to be the first one to carry out the mess. And, so I ain't mad at you. You just had you a good little sip of tea and you wanted to share it. So I'm not mad, and so I can speak to you. And I'm grateful that you helped me realize that, when I get to this level, they're going to be all in California saying this. And when I get to this level, they're going to be all in New York saying this. So I can't be worried about what's going on, right here. And so Frank was absolutely right. I had an image problem, and God needed to fix that. And so I'm grateful that he allowed me to go through this, but he didn't let me go through it by myself. He was there the whole time, making sure that I was with people that, he sent to make sure that I'm okay. He lined up this whole arrest. And, I'm just grateful that he was so good in the process. And so with that being said, I'm not going to say the image problem is gone, but it has got, so much better. So much better that I really don't care what you have to say. And I don't look for your approval. I don't look for anybody's approval. I'm going to do what I was called to do. I'm going to fulfill the purpose that was placed on my life. And so I'm going to do it whether you like it or if you don't. And so 2020, the whole 2020 was a learning lesson for me. You're worried about what these people are saying, but you should be worrying about, are you doing what I'm calling you to do? And so God showed me that I put you on a platform and I put you under a spotlight. And I didn't do that for nothing. And so with that being, me going to jail, first of all, I didn't lose anybody. I didn't lose anybody from making that stroll to the jailhouse, okay? And I'm not glorifying it, but thank God I did not lose. But if I had God has the power to destroy the whole business and build it up even better than what he started. So I just want to, be here to let someone know, I've always been that girl that, I can look at somebody else and learn from their mistakes. If somebody else get caught or somebody else get in trouble, I would normally get myself together because, I won't go into detail because I've done some pretty bad things. So I've always been that person though that once I see somebody else, get their punishment, I'll straighten up. And this time, God allowed me to be that person that, oh, you better straighten up because this could happen. And so it was so frustrating, the week after weeks after to hear people come up to me, man, I went through that same thing, but so-and-so helped me out. And, mine was worse than that. I had this, that, and that, and Section 8, and, and it was just like, really? When I realized that, I needed to go through that. I needed to know, first of all, that I ain't so great that everything's got to be moved and pushed aside. Like, who are you? Who are you that you can't go through this? Who are you, Carolyn? Who are you? And so that it just showed me so much. It showed me so much that it definitely showed me how to trust God more than just with my mouth. And with my words. We can say all day, God, I trust you. God, I know that you're there. But do you really trust him? Have you ever been in something that you have no choice but to trust him? And so with that being said, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all of the people that were online to show me that, oh, that don't matter. That don't move me. And it brought such a change in my life about my image. And it motivates me to even more to do what God called me to do and not worry about what others think, what others say. And so I just wanted to come on. I've always said since I've been in business, I'm not a speaker. I don't speak publicly. And if you ever come to my recitals, I have mastered these words. Thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you this time next year. And so that is what I say to every one of my shows. All my parents know it, but I had to restructure my mind. If I keep saying that I'm not a public speaker, if I keep saying that I'm not a speaker, then I can't really go to where God wants me to go, because I'm saying that I'm not a public speaker, but I'm in the public and I want to do this, I want to do that. And I've always said my dancing speak for me. And what happens when my legs can't move, because I'm getting older now. I can teach. But it's one thing to be able to teach and another thing to be able to dance. And one thing to be able to dance and another thing to be able to see a lot of choreography. Never mind. So anyway, I am in a place where I'm not going to say anymore that I'm not a speaker. I don't feel comfortable. I just ask God to, basically take my vocal cords, take my mouth and put yours there and tell me what you want me to say. And I pray that everything that I say on any platform or do will be pleasing to God and at the same time bless you in some kind of way. And so it touches somebody. So basically the moral of the story, no matter how bad it seems, how difficult it may be, how, it doesn't matter how it just doesn't matter. It may seem so dark. It may seem like you're never going to come out. But I want you to know that one thing for sure, God is with you. God is with you. He's never going to leave you. If you are covered by his blood, he is definitely with you. And so I am just here to tell you that, and that's why I told you my story. I have been saying, oh, it's nobody's business, but in actuality, it is. It is your business to know how God walked me right on through that thing with not a scratch, not a bruise. And 1 year later, you know, if it wasn't for the Facebook memories, you wouldn't know, just looking at me, you wouldn't be able to tell. And so I just want to thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for joining on. And just know that God is with you always. And if you ever have a question or anything that I can assist you with, just let me know. I'm here. I hadn't been through it all, but I'm definitely here to tell my story. Thank y'all. See y'all later.